stop overlooking in government contracting. And I would love for you all to just message so I know that you can hear me. So let me know, make sure that you can hear me on this live tonight. One of the top areas that people constantly overlook, it's often called, please make sure I can hear you, that I can hear you. You can hear me. Okay, good. Deborah, are you able to hear me? Okay, good. Thank you, Christian. Okay, perfect. So, and Deborah, I'm so excited for our interview to come out soon. So one of the most important things that's overlooked is what's referred to as market research. Sources sought notice. We're going to go on a little walk too. Market research. Sources sought notice. Also SSN. So I'm coming to you live from Vancouver. One thing about government contracting, you can bid on contracts here in Canada. You can bid on contracts in Mexico. You can bid on contracts in the UK. It is not exclusive to just the United States. Yes, the curls are popping, y'all. I did take some copper peptide, which I think has really helped. What I'm going to end up doing is going back and forth from this live to sam.gov. I like to call this my 90-10 rule. 90% of what you bid on should always be opportunities, solicitation, requests for quote, requests for bid, whether you're on a for-profit or a not-for-profit portal. You need to bid. And what that means is an agency is looking to buy. Because they're telling you, here's the opportunity. Thank you so much for the kind words. We want you to bid on it. Then there's something else known as market research. Sources sought notice. Sometimes they'll call it a white paper. So here's what you do. sam.gov. And also, I want to say something I discovered that was really interesting, y'all. Is I found these people on TikTok that I've never come across before, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's clear they watch my videos. So shout out to you on TikTok, you know? It's what happens when I'm a Birkin. Okay. So you see all these options, right? So I'm going to go back again. sam.gov. Contracting. Advanced search. And because I'm in Canada, I did put my VPN on. You don't have to. I did run into some difficulty trying to go on live here in Canada, so who knows what that's all about. So what we're going to not do is we're not going to hit a set aside, okay? We're looking at sources sought. Sources sought. And the way you can tell that you selected it is it turns green. Sources sought. I didn't even have to select anything else. How many do you all see there? For those of you who are here watching the replay. How many do you see? And thank you. There's over 3,000 opportunities. Now let's change the date. Because one thing about sam.gov is it's a portal. So sometimes people are very frustrated and they're like, I don't understand. There's things in here that were due months ago. And then they get really upset and they feel very deflated. And that's just because you got to change the date. So look, next 3 months. Okay, it dropped by 2,000, but you're telling me you can't win 1 out of 1,000? I mean, come on. That's better odds than the lotto. And I know y'all playing the lotto. Don't act like you're not. You're probably playing the lotto wherever you live, or if you live in a place, yes. Yes, I am, Yushin. Where they don't have lotto, you're playing something like the lotto. So why not bet on yourself? We're betting on ourselves. A sources sought notice means that the government is trying to get information on a requirement. They may not have funding for the requirement. They may have funding for the requirement. It's kind of like when you're like, I think I want something. You're online and you're searching. Maybe you tapped it. Maybe you put it in your bag. Maybe you're thinking about it. You just don't really know, but you think you need to buy it. That's where the government is. I will also answer questions. If you want the question answered immediately, pay for like a badge or something so it'll pop up. Otherwise, I'm going to go deep into this, okay? So you can see system software, on-site, roller unit, childcare, community health, El Paso, integration, all of these. Here's something that's very important when you're looking at a sources sought notice. One, typically in general with government contracting, you are not paid for 30 to 45 days, okay? Number two, when it comes to specifically sources sought notices, there are certain questions that they will ask of you. There are some people out there who say, oh, you just submit a capability statement, or you just send these things and boom, 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 in 45 days, you're gonna get a contract. Okay. I don't know, if that happened to you, let me know. But they're asking specific questions to determine either more information about the requirement or who they wanna go with. No different than you. If you know, hey, I'm looking to buy a television, right? You may have questions. What is the size? How heavy? You may ask a technical question. Maybe you want to know, does the TV is it a smart TV? Can I look at Netflix and Disney Plus and YouTube and all of that? This is the same when it comes to sources sought notices. But the mistake people make, thank you so much, the original Alexander, is people either ignore them or they spend too much time on them. So you want to balance. My 90-10 rule, I would spend about 90% on solicitations, 10% on these. So we're just going to pick one. I've taken a look at a few of these, but I like just picking one because I want you all to know how easy this is. I could totally just give you a nice manicured live, but I feel like that's what WWE is for, which I do love. One other important thing to notice, I did not choose a set aside. The reason I did not choose a set aside is because typically when there is a request for a sources sought notice, the government, will use what has been called the rule of two. Rule 2, rule 3, I don't know if the rule honestly is still in effect right now because with the recent changes and the BBB, not to be confused with the BBL, the Big Beautiful Bill. In the past, if two or more like-sized or like companies responded, they would set it aside. So hear me out. So this particular opportunity is for hot food vending machines. Hot food vending machines. So let's say Kowalski and the original Alexander and Yassine, all three of you respond because you find a supplier, you respond to the questions that they ask, and you turn this in by the deadline to Nicole. And Nicole may say, Nicole's the point of contact, she may say, okay, 3 companies who are small businesses all responded. These all seem like they could fulfill the requirement. Let's set this aside as small business. That's the theory with sources sought notice market research, white papers. But I'm here to share the reality of what happens. Most small businesses don't respond at all. So then people like Nicole, I don't know Nicole, it's just, her name is here. She's point of contact, okay? So deal with it. Nicole probably will get frustrated. Like, dang, we put this out for a request and we didn't hear from a small business, so we're just going to do business with a Cisco. I don't even know if Cisco has vending machines, but I do know they're one of the biggest suppliers of food, so chances are they probably have vending machines, you know what I mean? And that's how it goes. However, by responding to a source of sought notice, offering an amazing solution, and if you have a set aside like SDVOSB or you're on a GSA schedule, that puts you in your own class because it makes it easier for them to do work with you. If this is clear, type yes that this is clear, okay? If this is clear, type yes, this is clear. So you'll notice here is the NAICS code. You see all the information. And it says request for information. That's another way of calling, of terming a source of sought. At Robins Air Force Base, who can provide 3 hot food vending machines that provide 24 hours 7 unattended access to high quality foods? Well, as somebody who once weighed 300 pounds, I can't ever say I bought hot food items of high quality from a vending machine. I used to buy a lot of those Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches. So those are not high quality. They are high in a lot of things that make you 300 pounds. I digress. So you also know there's attachments. So here's the number one thing you need to do. You need to download these attachments. You can put them into ChatGPT. It doesn't matter what program you use or don't use. What matters is that you understand the requirement and you understand what you have to submit. That's what's important, okay? So right here, this is a PDF. So if you don't have a PDF viewer, please make sure you get one. Also, let me see if I can put it in here. Also, make sure, here, I'll show you in a second. Excuse me. So you see here, they go into detail. 55-inch, 220 volts. They have all the details. These are all things you can easily Google. And more than likely, there's a company out there that you could partner with. They're the subcontractor to provide this machine. You do not need pricing yet. You did not see anything saying that they needed pricing. What you're looking to do is to convince them that you are the go-to for these 3 vending machines. That's the whole goal of this. That's the whole goal. Now, sometimes with source of sought notices, they may ask you for pricing or what they call a rough order of magnitude. So you want to give them the best pricing ever, but they don't always do that. So I have something for you all, and I wanted to make sure I could give it to you. Hold on. Make it bigger. Find contractsfaster.com/free. So you're going to get a guide, an amazing guide, how to win contracts, why lack of government experience doesn't work, doesn't matter. Number 1 reason proposals get rejected and how to avoid it. So go here, take a look, download. Find contractsfaster.com/free. Okay? Now, as we go along today, if any of you are like, hey, I want to reach out to you, I want to reach out to your team, you may book a call at findcontractsfaster.com. Yours truly, okay? So, when it comes to a sources sought notice, you must download all the documents, identify what do they want for this sources sought notice, request for information. Is this something that you can provide? So for this one, it is that they want 3 new autonomous hot food kiosks to be designed to provide 24-hour access to high-quality meals. Boom. There you go. They provide background, they provide information, they don't want anything bootleg, no counterfeit. All of it is here. It's only 6 pages. And of course, there's shipping and handling. They also want you to take counterfeit prevention training, apparently, which seems to indicate that maybe they had some issues with people and some bootleg counterfeit machines. Keep that in mind. So when you're calling vendors, hey, I just want to make sure that what you offer is not counterfeit. I know it may seem preposterous that I'm even bringing this up to you, but it's very important that these machines, there's nothing wrong with saying that. If you dance around it or you're like, well, then you're going to end up winning. You're going to have a bootleg machine, and then you're going to lose your contract and you're going to be pissed off. And we don't want that. Okay? That whatsoever. So the next attachment identifies what they are looking for in your response. So when it comes to a sources sought notice or any kind of opportunity, there are things that they ask for, believe it or not. I know there's people out there that are like, oh, you just email them or you just give them a number. Okay, well, they just taking your money because they ain't never had a contract. Okay, so this is what they're looking for. Please provide the following information. Pretty easy. If you don't have a website, that's fine. Don't list one. Or list the site of your subcontractor. Size of business. Small business. Then they're also asking you, do you have any of these? Because again, if they have several, they may say, oh, well, we're going to set it aside for women. Oh, we're going to make it A day. Please only email by the deadline. Nicole is the person, and then Blake. So what you want to do is make sure you email Nicole, copy Blake. In the subject line, you're going to reference, it's on the internet, or on the internet. You're going to reference notice. So in the subject line of your email, you'll type, because I want you to see it, response to sources sought, number sign, type in that, and then you address Nicole and Blake accordingly. So make sure you have PDF reader, good strong Wi-Fi, access to Microsoft Office or some type of equivalent. So over here, the additional information that they want is describe the capabilities of your facility and nature of the goods that you provide. You can use ChatGPT and use the information with your sub. Can your company provide snack vending machines? Yes. Can your company provide card readers with Chase Payment Tech Gateway? Yes. How do I know this? Because now you take this information to identify what are you looking for in a sub. Somebody who has vending machines that interface with Chase Payment Tech. They can't use counterfeit items. They have to meet the different voltage. You need 3. They have to have the hot items there. Now it says, can your company provide a means of checking credit card vending machine status to ensure connectivity and daily sales? That's another thing. Hey, you got to make sure the vending machine company offers that. Per the existing exclusivity agreement, the JP Morgan Chase Bank is the sole credit processor. Will your company honor this? So you got to ask the vending machine, can you guys honor this? Okay, so it's perfect for those of you in vending machine, or you're like, oh, I want to get into it. Here's your chance. Now they want you to describe your past experience. As I talked about in the free download, findcontractsfaster.com/free, or just findcontractsfaster.com, and you book a call with my team. You don't have to use your experience because you may not have experience. You use the experience of the company that you're partnering with. That's what you do. You can easily find companies, and here's the free download, y'all. You can easily find companies who have won vending machine contracts before. Maybe it's for the state. Maybe they fulfill these, and for them 3 is nothing. Maybe they're like, wait, 3, if we don't even get out of bed for less than 100, you know? And so this is a great opportunity. Why? You're only providing the information I just listed. That's it. Probably a flashback to homework. That's it. That's it. Like the guy on TikTok. That's it. So, at the end of the day, it's not rocket science. It does take some time to locate and put in the work. But what's great is most companies won't. They're not going to put in the work for this type of opportunity. They're just not. And then they went into greater detail about marking proprietary, 8.5 by 11, 10 megabytes. So what they did for the email subject line, so I was close. Hot food vending, company name, year and date. So here's the other part. Just like with an RFP, you want to follow the instructions. So you see here, it's a very brief document. It's like 2 pages. 2 pages. All you have to do is follow the instruction. That's it. Follow the instruction, you submit it by the deadline. And here is the #1 mistake people make after they do that. I get all the time, hey Kizzy, I submitted a source of saw, I submitted my first proposal, that's beautiful. The other part is within a week, maybe 10 days, you want to send an email to Nicole and Blake. They're listed as point of contact. Hi, this is Dr. Kizzy Parks, just following up on, I would list how they listed, blah, 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 hot food vending, whatever, to see if you have determined a procurement strategy. And if so, do you plan on releasing the procurement on sam.gov? You definitely want to do it. So with the 90-10 rule, 90% of the things that you bid on should be solicitations. The other 10% are sources sought notice, requests for information, market research. Within, okay, well, so hold on a second. So you want to make sure you follow up within 7 to 10 days and ask them, what is the procurement, or has the procurement strategy been determined? Do you plan on posting it on sam.gov? And then here's a bonus. If you have a GSA schedule or access to a GSA schedule, you can mention that. We're able to provide said products or services on GSA schedule, and here is it. K-Love and others. Under advanced search, okay, sam.gov, contracting, advanced search, You have to change the date. That's why you'll see certain dates. You have to put, change the date. Okay? So that's how you get away from seeing things from July 3rd. Okay? I have a question about if we're subbing the workout, should we email them right away after we contact the sources? There's no need to email them right away until you want. There's no reason. Anytime. So back here to advanced search, notice type, sources sought, see it's selected in the green, dates, 3 months, see I selected 3 days, okay. You want to put in a NAICS code, you can, I don't. I like to see what shows up. I like to change that to 100. And I'm just scrolling, no different than if you're on TikTok. Just scrolling to see if there's anything that I want to respond to, anything of value that may yield a win. The whole point of doing this is to convince the agency that you are the solution. That's the whole point of doing it. So you can see this one of my favorites, Religious, 813110. They need somebody in Japan. More than likely, the person is already there. They're already in Japan. So why not bid on this, right? So it's sources sought. And here's the other tip. Whenever you're looking at something and it's in another country, please pay close attention to the deadline. So just do the conversion. Ask ChatGPT or go online. What is 3 p.m. JST in Pacific time, Central time, Eastern time, Mountain time, wherever you are in the world? Okay, make sure you do the conversion because it may be July 10th, depending on where you live. Okay, so you can see they have a little summary. Marine Air Station, and they state is solely for informational and planning. Just like my example about the television. Maybe you're like, man, I need a new television. I want a television. And you're like, okay, cool. And you start looking and you're on Amazon, you go to Walmart, maybe you go to Best Buy or whatever's popular in your area. And you're like, oh, look. You know, I saw the biggest televisions at the new store in Tulum. I know, I love that Kiss My Jump, man. I love having those tabs on there. It's like my version of Rage Bait. You guys get stressed out about them. I love them. So anyways, so in Tulum, they got this big old TV. I swear it's like 85 inches. Like, the television is almost as wide as this desk I'm sitting at. Does that mean I'm buying a television? No. I'm just taking a look. Informational and planning purposes. That is why you only respond to 10% of these. 10%. Because if not, you're going to respond and respond and respond, but what happens if they don't buy? What happens if they go through the GSA schedule? What happens if they change their mind, right? So keep that in mind. So they also have 2 attachments. And then they go into greater detail. And don't forget, you got to take in consideration about typhoons, place of performance. It goes into what they're looking for. So this document right here does all of that. If you want to go into ChatGPT and say, hey, please give, your prompt is the prompt would be, please give me a summary of this document. By all means. But what's most important is you have to understand, what is it that they want from you? What do you need to give to them? And be aware of the time difference, because this is for Japan, okay? And you also have to ask yourself, are you comfortable with having a team member in Japan? I am. We have team members in Hawaii. I think Hawaii is maybe, 5 to 6 hour flight? I'm not sure. At least Tokyo is. I'm okay with that. You may not be. You may be. But here's the best part. Y'all ready for this? Most people are not going to bid on this. Most people are not going to respond to this. You're not most people. So respond. Okay. So this attachment's 10 pages. It goes into a lot of detail about what they're looking for. So let's see, what do they want? What do you have to give to them? And thank you all for being here. If you haven't checked out my book, check out winnerswaybook.com. And also, I have a free download for you all. I'm going to show you in a second, because I know how much you love my my tabs. Okay, so Hurricane K, and anybody else who's interested, if you want to talk to my team about any of our offerings, findcontractsfaster.com. Findcontractsfaster.com. But I also have a free item for you, because free is very, very important. Okay? Boom. Findcontractsfaster.com/free. And just download the guide. Okay? Download the guide. Also, if you want to email me, I'm not going to press a button. You can also send me an email. I'll write it down for you. But the fastest way is you talk to my team. Regardless of where you are in the contracting space, we have a solution for you. And I have some really cool, exciting things going on. And I have a really cool offer. So I'm going to answer a couple of these questions, and then I'm going to go back to the sources sought. If you're finding this of help, type yes. If you're finding this, type yes. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, share. I appreciate your flexibility. I am in Vancouver. I attended a conference, and it is just spectacular here. So thank you so much. So if you found this of help, just let me know. So I will put my email here. If you want to book a call with my team, go to findcontractsfaster.com. Findcontractsfaster.com, and you can go to findcontractsfaster.com/free for the amazing free guide. Okay, so if you want to send me an email, this is my email, kparks@kpcinc.com. Take a photo, come back to this, it'll be up. Take a photo, come back to it. Okay, so Jocelyn, yeah, you're spot on. You want to know how to make your proposals right. This is one of them. So we're talking specifically about sources sought notices, but here's the other nugget, y'all. Some will say, oh, it's a sources sought, just send them something. No, you want it to look spectacular because you're convincing them. Please go with me, go with me. If you send them something, then they're not going to want to go with you or go with you. So this document outlines exactly what they are looking for. And this document is 2 pages. So as you can tell, it's pretty short. And as far as what they're looking for, up to 10 pages, Times New Roman, 12-point font. And these are all things you must follow. These are not suggestions. These are not nice to haves. These are requirements. Because the person who's reviewing this, it's Hiroshi. Hiroshi's going to say to themselves, wow, we asked for not to exceed 10 pages. We got 30. We asked for 12-point font. We got 14. We got 8. What happens if we actually give them the contract? You know? Hiroshi's gonna be mad. You don't want Hiroshi to be mad. And again, I don't know Hiroshi. Hiroshi's the point of contact. I know from being in this space since 2007, 2008, they're gonna be mad because I've done that. I've pissed off contracting officers. I've pissed off points of contact, and that's why I have my channel. We're the only one in the game with the silver play button, y'all. Okay, K Parks at KPC Inc. So we have Kilo, Papa, Charlie, India, Nancy, Charlie.com. And you can also go to findcontractsfaster.com. Findcontractsfaster.com. Okay, love you guys. Okay, so if you are interested in this, it's a very good one. It's to provide a person to provide Protestant services in Japan. You simply give this information to Hiroshi. Very simple. So all Hiroshi said is request for capabilities. Well, let me break down what that looks like. What they want to know is he'll want a cover page. He'll want an about you. And then you can use ChatGPT to talk about how you're going to fulfill it. Hey, you talk about how you're going to fulfill the opportunity. You submit it. It's less than 10 pages. And chances are the person is already there. So here's another bonus. You ask Hiroshi, I am curious, who is the incumbent? What is the contract number? What is the contract value? And it may be a person. Typically, this may be somebody who's retired. It may be a spouse of a military member. It may be, who knows? It could be a Protestant person who just happens to live there. Sometimes the contract is with an individual because that individual is providing the services. Either way, when we won our first religious opportunity at formerly known as Patrick Space Force Base, now Patrick Air Force Base, now known as Patrick Space Force, we actually unseated the incumbent. It was a woman. And then we connected with her, and she ended up working for us. And then we did it again at another Air Force base. We unseated the incumbent. Now, she didn't work for us. She basically was like, why am I going to work for you all when I have this contract on my own? Understood. I respect that. So we got somebody in there to fulfill the position. And often with these type of positions, the religious ones, they know who is available, or they may have a connection. Because many of the people who are in these positions, they've done this before, or maybe they're in a volunteer role. So who wouldn't want to be paid to do something that they're so passionate about? We're talking about serving God. I mean, come on, y'all. This is next level. This isn't HVAC. This is at a whole nother level. Business plugs mixer. Anytime. I love that. So don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, y'all. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Okay. So there's more sources sought. There's over 1,000. There's no reason within the next 90 days you can't win something. So you submit this to Hiroshi in 10 days. Hi, Hiroshi. I'm just writing to follow up. Have you decided the procurement approach, the procurement strategy for Protestant Coordinator of Religious Education? You cut and paste the number. And if so, will you post this on sam.gov? That's all you do. That's how you make sure that you are staying on top of these. It's very simple. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go several pages in advance. So I set this up so that I'm searching, looking at 100 at a time. So what I want to do is we're going to go to page 711. I forgot the rest of her song. Okay. Biometric gun case with lock. Okay, let's take a look at this. It's kind of cool. Pew Pew. They want a biometric Pew Pew case in accordance with the specifications. Okay. So for those of you who like products, there's one attachment here that outlines what they want. Now they want 400 of these. So then you have to ask yourself, are you prepared to broker a deal to be able to pay for 400 of these? Or maybe the manufacturer can offer you terms. So they outline all of this. And if this is up your alley, I would just go online, go on ChatGPT, and find out who has this. ChatGPT is good. My Proposal Master Academy is even better. Proposal.wins.com, proposal.wins.com. I'm just letting you know. Do what works for you, okay? At the end of the day, what's really important when you're looking at whether it's a sources sought notice or a proposal is understanding it's the GovCon winners formula. I interviewed Deborah, who's on here earlier. She won a contract for $300,000, and we talked a lot about that. So as long as you understand what's required and you give them what's required, so when they say font size 12, font size 12. When they say we just want the price, you give them the price. It's when people start giving them all these other things, they don't ask for all of that. And that is when often when people don't win. So this is a potential opportunity. If you're interested, you would just give them the information to Stephen and keep it moving. 10% of what you go after should be sources sought. 10%. Then other 90% should be actual solicitations. Sources sought notices are dropped throughout the year. At the fourth quarter, they tend to release more of them because they're looking for a fast way to procure things. So if you have a schedule, if you have a certain set aside, they may take that in consideration because it's easier for them to sole source those Pew Pew cases, for instance, or Protestant services, than have to go through the whole full-blown proposal contracting experience. There's a variety of items here: backup chiller, chemical fire suppression, IT services and support, electronic component. There are a ton. Ooh, I like this. Hotline support. So if you have a connection to somebody who can offer hotline support, this is for you. All my call center people out there, let's take a look. I'll make it bigger if I can. I'm here in Canada and have a little bit of a delay on my hotel Wi-Fi and VPN. So, okay. So you can see what they're looking for. Pretty basic information. If you're on the GSA schedule, if you have a government-approved accounting system, what I would do is reach out to them, to find out who's the incumbent, what was the contract number. Okay. So they want you to provide live phone coverage in English and Spanish. So if this is you, or you can sub to somebody who can do this, you need to take calls and text messages, then I would respond. I would definitely respond. One of the benefits, definitely you can schedule a meeting. Let me put that back up. One of the benefits of our Ultimate Edge coaching, our more kind of upper level coaching, is you get access to our GSA schedule. So as long as it makes sense, you can definitely take advantage of the opportunities there. You can book a call, findcontractsfaster.com. Findcontractsfaster.com. Just go to findcontractsfaster.com to book a call. Okay? There are some things I might go on. There's this app I may go on and do 15-minute calls. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Would you want a 15-minute call with me? If you would, type yes or type yes in the replay. It's something I've never done before, but I was thinking of doing it just to do it. You just let me know. Okay. They're paid. They're not free. So I just want to just say that, you know. Okay. So Laugh, Love, Leslie. I love that. Like Eat, Pray, Love. I think it can be helpful to get on a GSA schedule, just depending. Okay? It honestly, it depends. So here are some takeaways. Sources sought notice, request for information, market research should constitute 10% of what you're looking at. Cindy, I don't know. I was thinking maybe a couple $100. I don't know, for 15 minutes. Because I don't do hour calls. It literally would be $5,000 to $25,000 for an hour call. I can't do that. It doesn't give me life. I got this pen and it's fixing it. Okay, you guys let me know if you think, is that fair? Is that weird? I don't know. I'm just trying to try something different, right? Just to offer something different, like a sourdough waffle. Ashley, I love that. I saw a sourdough waffle on a menu. I think I saw that today here in Canada. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. If I do it, I'll let you know. I digress. Sources sought notice. These are predominantly found at the federal government level. All times of the year. You don't have to log in. You don't have to hit a set aside. You don't have to hit anything. Advanced search, notice type, sources sought. You simply give them what they ask for. Often they don't want pricing. You don't have to go and do and buy. Y'all, please don't do and buy. I got the saddest message on LinkedIn over the weekend. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not going to show you the message. Then we're going to end on a happy note. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, y'all. Findcontractsfaster.com. Don't forget to go there. Find Contracts Faster. So I got a message on LinkedIn. Do and buy. What do they like? What are they buying? Right? And what do you have to do in order to get them to want to buy from you? So for instance, with the religious Protestant position in Japan, they left it pretty open. So what you're going to want to do is talk about your business. You have a cover page, you have a table of contents. You're going to be able to talk about staffing. You're going to need to talk about how you would make sure they're doing their job, how you're going to manage somebody in Japan. You're going to talk 10 pages or less, put into ChatGPT. Please write me a response to this opportunity, upload the attachment, 10 pages or less that talks about my ability to technically, acceptably execute this work. Okay, that's all you gotta do. Very simple. There was another opportunity that we looked at where it was more detailed. They had actual questions, right? So that's what it is. You got to give them what they ask for so that you show them that you can do what they're looking for. So here on LinkedIn, I want you to see I'm not lying. All right, let's do it. Okay. That was LinkedIn. I got a message. Dear Dr. Parks, hope this message finds you well. I'm writing on behalf of blank, blank, blank to recover from a significant cyber attack and fraudulent transaction. We were directed to purchase 92 laptops totaling $128,800 by an individual or group impersonating a large corporation, specifically blank, blank, blank. As a blank business, this financial loss has placed us in an extremely challenging financial position. We are eager to explore every available avenue to recover from this. Here's the bottom line. There's an amazing video that talks about some of the current fraud. Some of the current fraud out there, people will take electronic items, they will offer to buy them at a higher price point on eBay, or they will contact us, business owners, and ask us to buy the electronics. Why? Because it's easier to do that than say, please wire transfer to India, Nigeria, or another country such as that. And I'm not throwing shade at India or Nigeria. I'm just sharing. These are countries where these types of things have known to happen. So since the United States in particular has cracked down on that, what interesting characters have done, they now will say, hey, we need this order. You think, oh my God, this is amazing, right? Because they pretended to be another company. They want to buy laptops from me. Shoot, this government contracting, this is easy. This curls popping, government contracting, easy peasy. Wrong. You buy the computers, you ship them there, and that's why he's out $128,000. Because he thought, I'm getting a deal. I'm making money. And in case you're like, Kizzy, come on. This is a video where I interviewed somebody. I know I tried. I tried to be as discreet as possible. I interviewed a gentleman where something very similar had happened. So he lost $185,300 in a scam. So please be very, 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 very cautious when you're doing this. There are definite ways to speed up the process, but that process is not, oh my God, I got an email. They're asking me for all these computers. Please don't do that. Please don't. Because there's no legal recourse. To finish off the story, they tend to take the items, like when the person buys them, they'll have them, when you order them, they're usually shipped to like an industrial park, and then another party will take them and ship them to another country, and then they may pawn them. How do I know this? Because there's a beautiful YouTube video where a gentleman did that, and he put like an Apple tag in there, and they had people boots on the ground in that country, followed them, and the person went and pawned them. Because even if it's a fraction of the price, as Maslow hierarchy of needs states, you gotta meet your basic needs. Food, water, shelter. We've all been there, where we've been in desperate positions to provide. This is not unique to just government contracting or people in America, Canada, or Mexico. This is across the world. So be safe. Be safe. You gotta be safe. Like Nipsey Hussle said, stay dangerous. Be safe, y'all. Okay. So when it comes to these, 10% of what you bid on should be source of sought notice. We won an opportunity from a source of sought notice. I had sent several in the very beginning because I didn't know what I was doing. And a woman had worked at National Science Foundation and wrote me. And she said, you have responded to she said you had responded to, what's up, Colton, to a sources sought notice at an agency where I used to work. And I was like, okay, I think it was FEMA. And she said, I'm very interested in having you provide training in different services. Please provide a sources response to market research, sources sought notice, request for information. And she asked for a rough order of magnitude. What was great is that I found out her budget. So we were then able to adjust the project, and the profit margin to meet the budget. And guess what? We won because I had responded to a sources sought. Also, I have a video, it's a little older, where a gentleman won. He responded to a sources sought notice for like an electronic bed or something, and I think he made $10,000 off the bed, and he ended up winning. So the sources sought definitely can come through, but just spend 10% of your time on those. You know, maybe do 1 a month, 2 a month, but make sure that they're amazing when you do them. Okay, and I want to thank you all. Medical bed, thank you, Stefan, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being amazing. There's not going to be any shortage of opportunities. Now, here is another bonus that you got to look out for. This, what is it? Not Team America, America First or America Way or something. There's talks of another political party. So if this really happens, and if substantial money is put behind a third political party, just be prepared during the midterm election and the next presidential election. Politics are connected to government contracting. Whether you vote or not, doesn't matter. So please be aware, okay? You all are amazing. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Lori. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Lori, for everything you do. Don't forget, winnerswaybook.com. Also, check out, I'll put it up here again, findcontractsfaster.com, findcontractsfaster.com. And if you go to /free, you get the free download. If you want to book a call with my team, findcontractsfaster.com, findcontractsfaster.com. Check out the Facebook group. We're almost close to 30,000 people. It's amazing. I feel like I don't talk about it as much as I used to. We have private groups, we have a lot. But here's what's important. All you have to do is take action. Learn, apply, adjust. Sharon is cold. Learn, apply, adjust. That's all you got to do. Take action, learn, apply, adjust. Oh, Preppy, that's cool. I appreciate, again, each and every one of you. This time difference is kind of kicking my butt. So I need to go eat and do all the things. So I just want you guys to know, again, how much each and every one of you mean to me. And I don't take this lightly. You know, just like you, I'm a person. I go through things, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you showing up for yourself. There's no reason you can't win a sources sought. There's 1,000. 1,000, y'all. That's a lot. You know? And also, Lori, that the Protestant one in Japan is a good one for, I'll write you too privately about it. It's a good one for some of our students. It's a very good one. And that's also one of the benefits of our coaching is the student would partner with us and they get to use our past performance. There's no reason we can't have one of our students win it. One of y'all can win it. It doesn't matter who wins it. What matters is that you know you can go after it. That's what's important, y'all. Okay, love and adore you, winnerswaybook.com. Check out the free download, findcontractsfaster.com, findcontractsfaster.com. I adore each and every every one of you. If you have any questions or you want more information from my team. I know. Okay. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I know one day very soon we will have a gold play button. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the silver play button. I don't take any of that lightly. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. I haven't done one of these kind of lives in a minute. Hi, Mark. So I'm like, how do I get off? How do I click off? No, thank you guys. You're amazing. Take care. Everything's possible. Bye.